guys, thank you so much. Larry from Carnivore Quest today did a live and I managed to hop on. I'm in Australia and he's in America, and I managed to hop on for like 10 minutes. So I couldn't wait for the live to finish. I knew I'd catch up with it this afternoon, this evening, which I did. And one of Larry's wonderful subscribers tagged me and said that Larry called me out on the video. He'd recognized my tag, and I went back and watched it. And Larry, all of a sudden, I've gone from 3 subscribers to I think 15, like in hours. So thank you so much for everyone who's subscribed to my channel. It means the world to me. I was feeling a bit lonely. Not really. I have a lot to say, but I'm not sure that it's interesting to everyone. So, but I'm really grateful to you guys for subscribing to me. And if you see my video and you want to be friends in the carnivore world, or not in the carnivore world, I'm cool. If you're a vegan, I've got a lot of vegan friends. But I just want to say how grateful I was to Larry from Carnivore Quest for calling me out today on his video and taking the time to say, hey, take a look at some of my videos. Larry's video today was about editing, which is an absolute minefield for me. I've only just learnt to look there in the camera so that you can see that I'm talking to you. So my particular skill is nothing to do with technology. I'm a massage therapist and personal trainer. So very hands-on, and I'm 53. So I probably should know more about technology than I do. I can work an iPad and my phone, and I can drive my car, and that's about where it ends. So for me, this is like a real challenge, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm really loving uploading videos. I get frustrated, and anybody else who's got a channel, I'm sure they've all started out exactly the same way. And Larry and Cassie, or Larry said today that when they both started their channels, they had the same issues. So I know it's just a learning curve, and I'm just going to go with it. And I hope that I've got enough to say to keep people interested in watching my videos, and keep people subscribing so that I feel like I'm sharing, which is what this is all about. It's me sharing my journey and sharing this information to people who maybe just come across me by accident. I spoke to a couple today on the street, and they both said to me, wow, you look great since we've seen you last. You look incredible. What are you doing? You're aging backwards. So of course, I'm going to tell them about my carnivore experience. I'm 6 months, or actually I'm 8 months in. I started in, the year's going too fast. I started in January. I'm nearly, almost 9 months in. And I made the comment that this is going to sound crazy to you guys, because I think carnivore probably does sound crazy to people. To me, it makes the most sense in the world. And I've got a lot of friends here. I started up a little Facebook group for some friends here to help everyone kind of get themselves into the carnivore lifestyle. And we're going to start a challenge in September. But I'm a bit unsure as to how to explain carnivore to people, particularly if they're not coming from a keto space. And that's where I came from. I was keto for 2 and a bit years. So it wasn't a huge transition for me. But I was telling this couple today, and this lady particularly was saying that she'd been having gut issues, discomfort. Her son's celiac. One of her other children has these gut issues. And I said, all I eat is meat. And they look at me, or meat-based products. I said, I'm on a meat-based diet. They looked at me and they went, all you eat is meat. And I'm like, well, meat and any animal products, I don't eat honey, but any other product that comes from an animal, I will eat, And they said, well, what are you going to have for lunch today? And I said, actually, I've got a steak out today for lunch because I've been so hungry this last few days, and I'll touch on that in a minute. I wouldn't normally eat steak for lunch. I'd normally eat that for my evening meal. But I said, I've got a steak out, and I'm going to have that, and I'm going to cut a big chunk of Kerrygold butter and have that for my lunch, and I'm really looking forward to it. And you could see them waiting for me to say, and I'm going to have this as well. But I said, and that's it. And they're like, and that's it. And the husband made the point that actually it's the complete opposite of everything that we know about the standard American Australian diet. And I went, yeah, it's the absolute opposite. And they both said, well, whatever you're doing, it's working for you. You look great. And I said, I feel great. I've never felt better. And the lady walked off and she said, you know, I might give that a try. I said, just do it for a day. Just go meat-based for a day and see how you go with that. I said, because it's challenging if you've never done it before, but you'll feel great at the end of that day, and the next day you'll feel great as well. So hopefully my friend Karen, who walked off and said, I'm going to try that, will try that. Today, I thought I might make a few points about the carnivore diet, or the silivore diet, as I've now renamed my version of the carnivore diet. There's 5 things that I do that are not carnivore that I started to beat myself up about when I first started watching YouTube videos, because I kind of thought, oh, I'm not really carnivore. And I guess anyone who's doing the carnivore diet, except for Dr. Chafee, because he's a machine. Anyone who's doing the carnivore diet, I suppose, has had the same thoughts if they're doing things that they would consider not carnivore. So I've written a list down here of the 5 things that aren't carnivore, but that I'm okay with, that make the silivore experience work for me. So I would suggest I'm probably about 97, 98% carnivore, which if you'd said to me 12 months ago you were going to be that carnivore, I would never have believed you. So the number one thing that I do that's not carnivore is I take MCT oil. The reason that I take MCT oil, and this is a new thing, I haven't been doing this for a long time, so I don't know how it's going to affect me on the carnivore diet, is my father has been recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. And there's a lot of study about how MCT and ketones particularly affect the brain and help prolong the brain's ability to retain itself, to not die off. So basically I'm treating this MCT as a bit of an experiment, because Alzheimer's is hereditary, and I don't really want to get Alzheimer's. My grandmother had it, my dad's got it, and his brother has it. They all have different Alzheimer's, but they all have had Alzheimer's. So for me, the number one thing is this new experiment with MCT oil, and I know that's a coconut-based product, and I know it's not carnivore, but I'm okay with that. And look, feel free to tell me how you feel about this, and if you want to vent. I'm not going to take it personally, I promise. This is my journey. I'm just sharing my journey with you. So number 2 is vitamins and minerals. I still take them. So I take a magnesium supplement every night. I take a liver supplement during the day. I take a multivitamin and a B vitamin just for some extras. And I take a collagen supplement. It's a coffee creamer, but it's not very nice. So I've been taking that because I don't want to waste it, but I won't continue to take that. And the reason that I put a coffee creamer in with collagen is because I gave up cream very recently. I eat, and Australians tend to eat quite lean meat naturally. The butchers cut most of it off. We don't get ribeyes covered in fat like you do in America. They cut it pretty lean. So I eat pretty lean. I add my fats back in. I enjoy that. I really enjoy that. But I take these other little vitamin supplements just to help me along, just to allow me to kind of sail through my journey. And if you can have the standard Australian American diet and still take supplements thinking that you're doing everything right, but you're just covering your bases, then the silivore diet, I'm going to as well. I think I get pretty much everything I need, but just those little few extras, I think they're sensible for me to take. And I'm not going to beat myself up by taking vitamins and minerals on the carnivore diet, because if my body doesn't need them, I'll just pee them out. And I know that's expensive pee, but at this point, I think we have the science to have them available, and so I'm going to have them. I got a little bit sidetracked there. I've stopped cream because it was giving me heartburn, but I was having a lot of cream because my meat here in Australia is leaner. And so I don't get a really high fat version of carnivore unless I add butter, cream, cheese, which I'm trying to avoid but haven't given it up. But I've definitely given up the cream and I feel better for it. No heartburn since I've given it up. So there you go. It was obviously inflaming my esophagus. My third thing that I do that's not carnivore, but I'm okay with that, is dried herbs and spices. And I still use a gluten-free tamari soy sauce on my chicken wings. Now, I beat myself up about that, so I understand if you want to beat me up about that. There is a 0.9 grams of carbohydrates in the particular one that I buy. There is 0.1 grams of sugar. So the carbohydrate intake is minimal. But I do get it's a soy-based product, and soy can be inflammatory for some people. It doesn't really seem to bother me. And I put my chicken wings in a big bowl and I sploosh the soy sauce over the top and then put my seasonings. I use a bit of 5 spice and some garlic and onion and some chili powder. And I absolutely love those chicken wings. And so I know those things are not carnivore, but I'm okay with that. It makes me really enjoy the taste of chicken wings. And I'm sure I would enjoy them plain, just with a bit of butter or, you know, bacon grease on them. But I want this to be a fully sustainable lifestyle for me. And those things that make me really enjoy my food allow it to be a fully sustainable lifestyle. So I'm not going to beat myself up over soy sauce and herbs and spices. And I know a lot of people on the carnivore lifestyle do tend to use, you know, garlic powder and onion powder. I get it. You know, I'm sure everyone knows that's not carnivore, air quotes, but lots of people do it. So I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm okay with that. So number 4, and this one I'm struggling with, not as much as I was struggling though. And I'm really proud of that. Every time I have an alcoholic drink, I like it less and less. And I've had 2 occasions really recently where I could have had a drink and I didn't have a drink, and I felt so much better for that. And I will openly and honestly admit, because I want complete transparency on my channel, that's what this is all about. I'm telling you what I do that maybe I shouldn't do on carnivore, but I'm still going to do it. I want to be honest. I used to drink a lot, and one of the reasons that I came to the keto diet was because I could still drink non-carbohydrate alcohol. So scotch, vodka, gin, those things. I could work my way around. I drink scotch neat with an ice cube, so I never had to worry about a filler. And vodka I could have with soda and lime when I was with keto, and the same with a gin. I could have a gin and diet tonic. And so those things kind of let me hold on to what I thought was a normal way of life, but still do keto. And I think we all have problems with that. And I think that's why those keto treats are a bit diabolical. And for me, they were initially, because I still wanted to hang on to sweet tastes and dessert and things like that. And it took me a really long time to get my head around not having that stuff. But oh my gosh, now that I don't have that, I have no desire for it. If I want a dessert, I'll have a piece of cheese. So, and I rarely have dessert because I struggle to fill myself. You know, I get really full when I eat anyway. So I rarely have dessert. Sometimes if I'm out for a meal and there's a cheese platter, I'll order a cheese platter and I won't eat the fruit and crackers. I'll just have some of the cheese. And I really feel like I'm treating myself with that. So the alcohol is something that I am very definitely working on. And I wouldn't say I'm a non-drinker, but now I'm a not very big drinker, which is fantastic. I'm really, really proud of myself for doing that, because I have had a lot of alcohol in the past. I'm that girl, you know, party girl. I'm the girl on the dance floor first and all of that stuff, and always when I've had a drink. So having a different perspective on that with no alcohol is actually okay for me. It wasn't so easy in my 30s and 40s. I was enjoying myself in my 30s and 40s, going to parties and all that sort of stuff. But in my 50s, I'm actually really comfortable with who I am in my own skin. And so I don't feel that I need to drink, because I don't feel like if people don't like me. It doesn't matter. You know, everyone has their insecurities, but in my 50s, man, I'm so comfortable with what people think about me. So I don't need the alcohol to kind of, you know, give me that false sense of bravado and get me through a social occasion like I maybe once did. Number 5, and this one may be a little bit contentious, but I've seen a lot of things on threads about women going through menopause, and not needing to go on to hormone replacement therapy because carnivore lifestyle sorts all that out. Now, I've only been on the carnivore lifestyle, like I said, since January, so it's only 9 months. But I take HRT, and I really feel like I need that. And some people sail through menopause and perimenopause with no symptoms. And I'm a really positive person, and I never had issues with my menstrual cycle. I wasn't one of those girls who struggled every month. But man, when perimenopause hit me, I went crazy. So I couldn't understand why I had this dramatic change. And I went to my doctors, and very fortunately, she was a sympathetic doctor who specialized in women's wellness. And she said, I think you can have HRT, and would you like to try it? And I was so desperate at that time to feel like not a crazy person that I eagerly said yes. And I cannot tell you the difference for me, and I know not everyone feels this way, but the difference for me on hormone replacement therapy within days was remarkable. And I know, like everyone says, if you're metabolically healthy, you shouldn't need to rely on those things, but I just do. And I'd love to hear from anybody who's going through the same thing, who still feels that they need hormone replacement therapy. I was so disappointed to sit through a lecture where a male doctor who I really admire, and I'm not going to name names, he's an Australian guy, and I really liked this guy. He was really down to earth, stood up and said, basically, if you're living a proper carnivore lifestyle, you shouldn't need HRT. And if you were getting symptoms, that was something that you were doing wrong. And I felt so deflated. I felt like I was cheating carnivore because I was on HRT. And I suppose I still feel a little bit like that. But let me tell you, my family and my husband's life is so much better for me being on HRT. Actually, my life is so much better. So although the carnivore diet has given me so much, at the minute, I need that little bit of help from HRT. So like I said, I did feel after this lecture that maybe I was cheating. He said he would never let his wife go on HRT, and I'd be scared if I was him, because if my husband said to me, you're not allowed to go on HRT, he'd need to sleep with one eye open. He'd probably be scared. He loves me being on HRT, let me tell you. And I'm so placid. I'm like Mrs. Chill. Like I said, I'm a massage therapist, man. I spend my whole day being zen. But then this horrible personality change came over me with perimenopause, and I was anxious and aggressive and paranoid and all of the things. And don't even talk to me about the hot flashes. They were hideous. So for me, having HRT, regardless of your views on whether it's something that you should or shouldn't do on carnivore, or regardless of on carnivore, for me, it just makes everything much easier. So those are the 5 things that I do that aren't carnivore, but they're silivore. And I'm going to keep doing them for the time being because they make my life better. And I think anybody on the carnivore lifestyle is there to make their life better. So I think symbiotically, the things that I do make my carnivore journey better. And so that's why I'm going to keep doing them. I'd love to hear from anybody else. Like I said, I'm really transparent on my channel. I really want to tell people the truth. You know, I'm laying it all out there for you. I'm laying it bare. So if you do any of those things, do you feel the same way, or are you more relaxed in your journey? Maybe it's because I'm new. I watch a lot of Nisha Berry, and I see her cop it from a community of people sometimes when she says that she uses the word carnivore. So now she says ketovore-ish, and I totally understand that. And that's why I call my journey Silivore, because I never want anyone to think that I'm trying to be perfect, because I'm far from it. And I want to share my my vulnerability with you all. So I'd love to hear from you guys if there's anything that you do that you're happy to share, that you think maybe isn't quite carnivore, but you're happy to do that. And just let me know, just drop a comment. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. I'm so excited, guys. Thanks again, Larry, today for calling me out. That's like the coolest thing, man. So excited. Also, Larry, if you watch this video, can't say I'm a Metallica fan, but I have a cousin who, this is my 5 minutes of fame, who was in a band called Mortal Sin here in Australia, who supported Metallica when they came out and did their first tour in Australia. And I was blown away by that. My first cousin, we're all very musical in my family, except for me. My daughter sings and plays guitar. My mum's side of the family is very musical. My dad's father was an opera singer. I missed out, but we're all very musical. So that's just my 5 minutes of fame, Larry, that my cousin, a band called Mortal Sin, Matt Mora is a legend, supported Metallica on their first Australian tour when they came out to tour. So there you go. Thanks very much for listening to me, guys. And really thanks again for subscribing. I'm so, so grateful. And if you want me to subscribe back on you, I've subscribed to some of you, but I've been on a few and some of you don't have any videos yet. So I'm not sure if you're going to. Please let me know, because I don't want to like leave you hanging, but I don't want to subscribe to you guys and put pressure on you to make content if that's not what you're doing. So, but thank you so much. I'm so, so grateful. And I hope you found my little spiel tonight, little chit chat, interesting. Speak to you again. Bye.